rebel force has penetrated the shield and landed on Endor.
This is where the fun begins.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
This is Rebel Force Radio.
Your source for the Force.
Star Wars news and commentary.
With Jason Swank and Jimmy Mack.
I've seen Star Wars 500 times. Star Wars #1.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
Now it's time for Rebel Force Radio.
We would be honored if you would join us.
All right, welcome back to Rebel Force Radio. RFR taking you into the Labor Day weekend here. So there's no excuse to not get through the entire episode this week. We know you got a long weekend. Might be, I don't know. What are you doing? You having a picnic? Maybe you're doing some yard cleanup. It's not as fun as when you're getting ready for summer. Labor Day is that sort of unofficial end of summer, and you're getting ready for the fall and the holidays and the winter and all of that. But that's what you got RFR here for. So if you're starting to feel that those winter, I guess the forthcoming winter blues, I get that. I love warm weather. I love being able to count on being able to go do something outside, whether go fish or go golf, something like that. And so whenever Labor Day hits, I think it's left over from the back to school time where you start to feel like, oh no, that crisp coolness is in the air. That can only mean one thing. I'm going back to jail. Kids, if you're listening, I did not just say school is like jail. I don't believe that at all. But no, RFR can be your respite. And we are, of course, your source for the Force. Looking forward to breaking down the huge news. Star Wars Starfighter has a cast. That's right. It's official. These aren't just rumors. This is StarWars.com. All of the social media channels for Star Wars, official media channels, social media channels are talking and pointing to this article that breaks down the whole cast. We'll be analyzing all of the names, quite a long list of names in this big announcement. Plus, speaking of those names, Matt Smith, you know him as the 11th Doctor, you Doctor Who people out there, but Matt was just recently asked about his potential role in Starfighter when he was out promoting his film Caught Stealing with Regina King. And so this is just a couple of days ago, as Matt was asked about being in a Star Wars movie, and, we'll see. He sort of tap dances his way around the question, and then fast forward a couple of days later, and it's all official. So Matt won't be having to tap dance for much longer. So delighted you're hanging out with us. It's always good to be with you. If you're new to the program, and introductions may be in order, my name is Jason, and with me, as always, my good friend and yours from Chicago, Jimmy Mack.
Hey, Jason. Hey, Star Wars fans. We're back. It's back to school. And yeah, kids, listen to Uncle Jason when he says to you, school is not jail, okay? Get that out of your heads. It's not jail. It's hell. And welcome back. So, okay, we got a lot going on this week, so I'm going to get right into it. But first, we have to thank RFR VIP Chris Turtle Wars Hagen, who sent us these big packages here. Oh my God, it weighs a ton. He sent this giant box to me, and I'm going to open it right now on the show. Right. I know what's in here. It's been Coca Cola mania this summer for Star Wars fans. We're going to Rancho Obi-Wan next week, and I'm really excited for that, and I can't wait to ask Steve Sansweet, how many cans of Coke did you drink this summer, Steve? It's probably a lot. Boy, Turtle Wars did a hell of a job packaging this thing. He's got all the styrofoam peanuts in here, which I'm trying not to spill all over my lovely studio, but I think it's inevitable. It's going to happen. Inside Turtle Wars, oh my goodness. He sent me, and he also sent to Jason, but he sent to the two of us. Oh, this is like trying to break into Fort Knox here, trying to unpack
God.
this thing. He sent Jason
bubble
and
wrap.
myself a complete set of Star Wars Coca Cola cans which he personally sought out and gathered together into a collection, trying to find the mintiest of mint cans. And he sent them to us. Now, he sent me 2 boxes, which are like really aggressively taped together. 1 box is for me, and I believe 1 box is for our own Tyler Page. But I'm having
Mine,
a
I got to
heck of
tell
a
you,
time.
mine was a little less dramatic when I opened.
Jason, help me out here, pal.
Mine came in a LaCroix box here. Oh, so Max got 2 LaCroix boxes as well. So a lot of LaCroix being consumed in the Turtle Wars house. And but I got the 1 set here. And as Mac continues to unbox, I want to show off what I think.
There are
Now, these
packing
the-
peanuts all over the place
It's a
right
mess.
now. You wouldn't believe it.
It's madness. It's chaos in the RFR studios over there in Chicago. But I had to set aside. So these are the regular Cokes. So the bottled Cokes, the Diet Coke, the Coke Zero. I think they all kind of had their own theme. There's a lot more than just these, but these are the regular Coke cans. And so there's a whole set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, I believe. But I set aside my favorites, and I'm curious as Mac if he gets a chance to rifle through who his favorites are. Now, this one right here, I'm going to throw this out. This is the Carrie Fisher can, and there's been a lot of jokes made about Carrie Fisher appearing on a can of Coke. I don't necessarily.
That thought never even crossed my mind.
So some people are looking for this one for the irony, the joke of our beloved Carrie, our beloved princess on the can of Coke.
I just would rather see her face than the side profile. I don't like that, but I do
not a
like
fan
how
of that?
I do
Of the
like.
profiles?
Nah, I don't care for that. They did the same thing with Anakin.
Yeah. So here's the Anakin. So it's a profile shot. It works for Anakin because he's, it's a little sinister. But the one that I think steals it just because of the color palette is the Darth Maul. I think
Darth
the
Maul
Darth
is a
Maul
great
is
can.
by far the coolest one. It's just like made. He's made to be a Coca-Cola spokesman. And I think the Vader one is actually quite cool too.
I love
with the red
Chef's
saber.
Kiss for the Vader. I had been collecting them.
Oh, you
And
had?
half the cans, there were 4 of them that were released as regular Coca-Cola Classic, which was no problem. Easiest thing in the world to collect because me and my family drink Coke. But when it came to Coke Zero, that's difficult for me because I don't really care for that stuff. I really, what I like is the cherry Coke Zero. I like that.
I see the differences now. Okay, so the Coke Zero has the black script and the regular
Right.
Coke has the white script. Okay.
So I
now
just
I'm
want to
with
thank
you.
Turtle Wars for sending that to us because, listen, I've had enough Coke Zero. I don't want to drink that stuff anymore. I'm really sick of it. There's also tall, skinny cans that I can't find for the life of me. Like, they're totally impossible to obtain. And there are plastic bottles with labels on them.
Right.
I am not collecting those. I am just the cans, only the cans. And so they're fun. They're a lot of fun to collect. And I have been saving each and every can. It doesn't matter if I have doubles, quadruples, whatever. It's like I have cases. The cases themselves actually have cool Star Wars artwork.
I love the art on the cases as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
So, and the 12 packs. So I have those, and I've filled them up with empty cans. There's Ahsoka. That's a great one. Rosario Dawson version.
Yeah.
That's a really strong can. My favorites are the Ahsoka, the Maul, and the Vader for sure.
You got Ahsoka going up against Anakin on the can, it looks like here. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun to collect these, but it's the mania has grabbed my family as well. I got a phone call from my son Michael, who is at work, and he said he was taking the garbage out, and when he opened up the garbage container, lifted the lid, he saw in perfect condition a Princess Leia Coca-Cola can. So he took it out of the garbage can, rinsed it out with water and soap, and brought it home to me.
Oh, that is, come on. That is a son's love right there.
I'm like, hey, this is my kind of Star Wars collecting, where we could dumpster dive and do all, get all dirty.
I like
and
the idea of him rinsing it out and somebody go, what are you doing? He's like, my dad collects this stuff, man.
My dad's a maniac. But I figure if I just get like a couple hundred of these cans, I could do something kind of artsy with it, or maybe I could build a shed in my backyard out of them.
Can you imagine?
But it would be or just like create a giant wall of Star Wars Coca Cola cans somewhere in my collection. I don't know. I'm just having a lot of fun with it, and it's been a lot of fun this summer. I was actually partaking in the hunt. Like, I'd drive to my mom and dad's house, and they're about half an hour away from me. So coming back, I would stop at all of these gas stations and 7-Elevens and Family Pantry. I would go in there. I'd walk to the cooler, and if I didn't see individual cans of Coke, I would walk out. And some of the store clerks seemed so disappointed in me, too, because I'd be in and out.
What was that guy looking for?
He'd be like, please, may I help you, sir? I'm out of here. By the time he gets the word "sir" out, the bells in the door are ringing, and I'm leaving a dust cloud in my wake on my way to the next BP gas station or 7-Eleven or Walgreens or wherever the hell I ended up. So thankfully, thank you, Chris Hagen, Turtle Wars. The hunt has now ended. My Coca-Cola can safari has finally come to an end. And I was just surprised when Turtle told us he was going to send us these cans. He's like, I found the best, the most high-quality mint condition cans.
Yeah.
I thought they'd be empty, though. I didn't realize they were going to arrive filled with Coca-Cola because I've been emptying my cans.
Well, yeah, and the shipping on that, he paid the shipping for the heavy cans. He sent me a note here, I'll just say, just to give an idea of what he went through to amass these. Keep in mind, he's got a collection for himself. He sent Mac a whole set. He sent Tyler a set. He sent me a set. So he goes, I spent nearly 4 weeks searching and popping the carry handles open on somewhere around 200 cases of Coke to find the complete collection of 8 different Star Wars cans. Anakin and the Emperor were the most difficult for me to find. So that could be the chase there. I know you're busy, so I did all the legwork for you, and here is a complete set for your collection. I went through all of the cases I purchased and picked out the best ones that had the fewest or no dents, scratches, glue blobs, or image printing blemishes. Spoken like a scientist, right? If you are not particularly interested in having these, then please go ahead and consume them or gift them to someone that would be. Well, of course I'm interested in that. These aren't going anywhere. I was just telling Mac off air, I want to get one of those cutters that you can get because there's no way I can't. I love Coke regular, but I can't Coke Classic. I can't drink the Coke Zero. But I want to get one of those cutters that does that clean cut around the top. Take the top off, dump the can, and then glue the top back on, and then all of a sudden you got something that's not going to leach. I remember my brother. We grew up obviously in the Canton area, and there would be when you had more like local bottlers and cans back in the day before everything was quite so national. We had special Hall of Fame cans for the Football Hall of Fame that would come out, and he would collect these, and then over time the soda would leach through the bottoms of the cans, and they'd get sticky. Yes. So I don't know if that's still a thing. You mentioned Steve Sansweet. Maybe Steve has a secret to preserving this kind of memorabilia.
Yeah, right. We better ask him about this before these things are exploding and getting all over our collections.
Yeah, that was
offices.
The other thing. They would bloat, and so the cans would get all distorted and whatnot. Yeah. But I love the artwork. The only thing that really has me scratch my head, Jim, is why now? Why summer of 2025? Would they do such a huge promotion with Star Wars? I mean, you don't look a gift horse in the mouth. It's Star Wars.
Right.
It's great, but it's just weird. They're not promoting a movie. They're not promoting a TV show or anything right now, really.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Maybe just to keep them, keep the brand. It's all about brand awareness and just to keep the brand alive. It is a slow period for Star Wars right now. Is there's really not much going on between now and the Mandalorian and Grogu movie next year, which I'm sure we'll see a major marketing push for, with tie-ins from anything from groceries to fast food and beyond. But I think that's what it's just all about, just to keep the brand awareness there. They're tapping into all trilogies with this particular promotion. Earlier this year, Wheat Thins did a random Star Wars promotion too, with four character boxes featuring Darth, Yoda, Chewie, and R2. Original trilogy only for Wheat Thins. Wow. And there was really no rhyme or reason for that either. It's just primarily about keeping the brand awareness alive. And then it's like, you wash my hand, I'll wash yours. We know that the Coca Cola products are all over those Disney parks and everything. So maybe some, bonus promotion might sweeten the deal for the Coca Cola company and make the Disney company happy. There's all these different mechanics at work here when it comes to movie publicity and franchise marketing and consumer products. So, there's all these different things. I don't like to even question it. I always just embrace it. And I've been collecting Star Wars food packaging since as far back as I could remember. I'm pretty sure I still have a empty bag of Lay's potato chips with the Han Solo mail away it was the Ben Kenobi, the Spirit of Obi-Wan,
the
mail away action figure back in the early days of Power of the Force 2, back in 1995, 96-ish. You buy the potato chips, and the next thing you know, they're sending you action figures in the mail. I was like, life is good. Life is really good.
The Fruit Loops Han from Kellogg.
Fruit Loops
that was fantastic.
Yeah. And I think I have a box of Fruit Loops around here, empty box, of course, that may have that, and so much more. And speaking of Star Wars food items, there's a couple things we can follow up on from last week, because there were a few legendary Star Wars food items mentioned just throughout the course of conversation here on Rebel Force Radio. The first thing I want to talk about are those Star Wars Pepperidge Farm cookies that you mentioned last week, Jason. You remind us of that little tidbit, little snack from the 80s. And I had mentioned that television personality Adam Goldman visited Rancho Obi-Wan for one of the shows. He's involved in so many different shows, Adam. I'm a fan of his. And I see him on History Channel all the time. But he visited Rancho Obi-Wan. He was host of a show called Adam Eats the 80s. And I believe it was a History Channel production, Adam Eats the 80s. So in 2022... Adam visited Steve Sansweet at Rancho Obi-Wan, where he dined on vintage Star Wars Pepperidge Farm cookies.
I mean, nothing but the best from Steve Sansweet. You go there to hang out. Right. Steve is going to feed you the best in 30, 40-year-old cuisine.
So I told people, I said, hey, go search it out. So many people reached out to me and said, I can't find this show streaming anywhere right now. What's the deal? I don't know. I was really surprised, too, because I went to search it out. I wanted to watch it again. And it wasn't online. We covered it when it came out 4 years ago. And I have some audio highlights, which I thought would be fun to listen to. But for some reason, the video is just not streaming anywhere. We can't find it anywhere. I found a promo for Adam Eats the 80s going to Rancho Obi-Wan, but that was the best I could do. So let's listen to some of these highlights from this. Remember, I painted that mental image of Steve Sansweet feeding Adam the Pepperidge Farm cookies, just like one at a time, just placing them in his mouth, But I don't have the video, so I don't know if that's actually what happened.
We do have some screen captures here, so if you are a member of Rebel Force Radio All Access, we do have some photos, and there's a whole write-up about this with over on the Rancho Obi-Wan website. So I was able to find a description of what happened and some and some photos. You can see they're wearing the masks. So this was in the throes of the pandemic a few years ago. So, but yeah, we've got the audio highlights here.
So here's Adam Eats the 80s. This is Adam arriving at Rancho Obi-Wan, doing the big intro for Rancho Obi-Wan. And I just wanted to play this to just kind of hype myself up for RFR Live at Rancho Obi-Wan. And let's hear Adam's little intro.
It was in the 1980s when Star Wars went from movie to money-making machine. From toys to costumes to lunchboxes to your pillows and blankets. And one world the movie machine attempted to conquer was the world of food. So today, I'm going to track down and taste some of these long-lost Star Wars treats. But where on earth can I find unopened edible treats from 40 years ago? Help me, Rancho Obi-Wan. You're my only hope. It's a 9,000 square foot museum that holds the largest collection of Star Wars memorabilia on Earth.
All right, that does get me excited about next week's big live broadcast from Rancho Obi-Wan. It's going to be happening. And this was quite a happening in its own right. I mean, again, you're talking about 40-year-old cookies. And, Jim, we know that junk food, our parents have told us for years, it's full of all kinds of artificial preservatives. We got RFK talking about all of these chemicals that are in our foods. And I can only imagine what the effect could be in consuming something like this all those years later. Or maybe, you know what, maybe it tastes just the way it was when it was packaged up all that time ago.
Well, I think that's what Adam is looking for here, is to see how well the actual edible items could last and retain their flavor. I also think he has the stomach of a billy goat, and that's what makes him the man to be able to challenge himself with these eating. How do I put it? He's eating vintage. That's what he's doing. The man is eating vintage. So the first stop was to the trading card collection, where Steve has some unopened packs of Star Wars trading cards from 40 years ago. And Adam doesn't care about the trading cards. You know what he's after, the gum.
That's right.
So let's hear how that went down.
Steve assures me his vast collection does include some edible Star Wars treats and promises whatever I find, I could try.
I had these trading cards.
Do you remember the taste of the gum?
I mean, I remember you had to kind of crack it.
80s trading card collectors were among the last ones lucky enough to get bubble gum in their card packs.
Okay, this is huge for me. To actually have the gum feels just like the cards. All right, see if my mic picks this up. Worth it. But it's that note of like really powdered sugar and almost like a cotton candy-ish kind of taste. It literally dissolved. I have consumed it, so now I am one with the force.
Okay, so he described the powdered sugar, which is, I absolutely remember the powdered sugar and the taste of that when it hit your tongue, and then that sort of cotton candy taste. So the thing might have just dissolved once it hit his mouth, but it sounds like the flavor is still there, at least when it comes to the bubble gum.
You know, that stuff always seemed like it was stale when it was fresh.
Right.
That gum.
It was always snapping.
Yeah, and there were times when you just felt like it would be a more satisfying eating experience to just chew on the cardboard trading cards as opposed to the damn gum itself. Thinking, this just isn't working.
But it was all part of the experience. You know, you'd go to the drugstore or the bookstore, wherever it was, and you wouldn't just buy one pack. Typically, you'd have the money to maybe buy 3 or 4 packs, and just the connection of eating and chewing the gum and the taste of the gum, the smell of the gum that was still on the cards as you're rifling through the cards, looking for the ones that you need to finish out the set. It's all one experience. I think just having the gum without the experience of flipping through the cards and trying to complete your set is not quite the same thing. I think you need to be doing both. You need to be on the hunt and eating the gum.
Oh, always. And that brings back a lot of memories just hearing you talk about it in those terms. Because I fondly remember collecting not only Star Wars cards, but other trading cards based on films and, of course, sports cards as well.
Yeah.
So I was all over that stuff. The unfortunate thing about card collecting with the gum, though, is that sometimes the gum would leave like this mark on the trading card that it was placed next to, and it would be really frustrating because it would, it would almost be a greasy stain on the card, greasy, waxy stain.
I remember that. Yeah, they would try to put it on the bottom of the pack so it would be on that. There would be like a glossier, shinier side where the graphic of the front of the card was, and on the back it'd be that matte, where you'd get some information and then the number on the card and all that. So they would try to get the gum on that surface so it wouldn't at least mess up the photo on the card. But packaging, you never know. There was all kinds of problems, and sometimes you'd get it right there in the middle of your Princess Leia in the gold bikini trading card would be all ruined.
Oh, no. Before you got the chance to ruin it.
I have very vivid memories of loading up my little, Jim, you'll appreciate this. I had in, what would that have been? Like second grade, maybe first grade. I had a Chicago Bears wallet, and it was one with the Velcro. Because,
nice.
It was the Bears were even here in Ohio. In Ohio, we love the Bears because they had just gone to the Super Bowl. Was that 85?
Yes.
Yeah, 85.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
And I remember loading that wallet up with my Return of the Jedi trading cards on the night before the first day of school, because I wanted to be. I wanted to have those with me so that if I got, I don't know, a taste of home, I guess, a taste of, because Star Wars was sort of my home back then, and to be able to flip through those. And the very first day, I pulled that wallet out, and I thought, oh, the teacher's not paying any attention. I'm just going to flip through my cards, because I had them slid into, where you would put the photographs. Remember, you get those little plastic slide-in things for the photos? Yeah. And instead of photos, I had Return of the Jedi trading cards. And I wasn't thinking about that tear of the Velcro on the... And it goes... And I was cooked. And the teacher came over, very first day of school, took the wallet from me, put it in her bottom drawer... and I had to wait until the end of the day and go and say, "Can I have my wallet?"
Oh, you were separated from your metal bikini Princess Leia trading card for
I sure was.
The entire day? I mean, that's terrifying to think of. All right, hey, let's get into the real highlight of this entire package here, and that's when Adam eats the Pepperidge Farm Star Wars cookies from the mid-'80s. And these were pretty wild. They were out for a limited time, Star Wars Pepperidge Farm cookies. You had the chocolate, which was the dark side, and you had the vanilla, which was the light side, of course. And Adam stumbled upon a package of these at Rancho Obi-Wan and demanded that a tasting session take place immediately.
Of all the many Star Wars food tie-ins, one that was near and dear to my 10-year-old heart was Pepperidge Farm Star Wars cookies.
I really shouldn't keep these in here because it attracts all kinds of critters eventually.
TV hosts, all kinds of pests.
We should probably open these and sample them.
The boxes have held up impeccably well. If I ever wanted anything frozen in carbonite, this would be it. So the bag definitely seems to be intact. Yeah. Remember, these have not been eaten, sold, or seen in 4 decades. They look intact, completely intact. You could actually see that it's Leia Organa. I am impressed.
But the real question is, after all these decades, do they still taste as good as they did? Now remember, don't try this at home.
So the issue is that there's not really a ton of taste It's still crunchy, as you can hear. It's still crispy. It still has like all those like kind of great cookie textures. It's crumbly. It's vaguely moist, which is strange. But I think the butter in it has turned to the dark side.
No, I love the sound of Sansweet just laughing.
Laughing.
He's eating this stuff. Because, you know, Steve loves his collectibles, but he's not about to try any of this stuff. He's not going to eat any of this.
No,
he's going to
that's
let
very
this
true.
Joker do it.
And he's more than happy to be very humored by Adam eating all of those. So, okay, the Pepperidge Farm cookies, they only came out in 1983. So this was sort of a promotional tie-in with Return of the Jedi. Yeah. And the cookies did come in chocolate vanilla, but there was a third flavor. Do you remember what that was, Jason? A third
I'm going to have to
flavor.
guess because I don't remember there being a third. I'm going to go with strawberry, like a red.
It was peanut butter.
Peanut butter. Okay.
Peanut butter. And each flavor featured different characters. The vanilla characters were rebel characters like Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Yoda, and Wicket the Ewok. Peanut butter showcased characters such as Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2-D2, Admiral Akbar, and Max Rebo. And then chocolate displayed Imperial forces, including Darth Vader, the Imperial Royal Guard, Bib Fortuna, a Gamorrean, and Jabba the Hutt. So there were promotional offers, too, on the packaging. You could mail away for Star Wars plastic tumblers. And I guess that was the only promotional offer tied in with these short-lived cookies.
I'll tell you,
the boxes themselves are
summer of '83.
Collectible.
These were in our house all summer long. Now that you mentioned the peanut butter, I do remember those because I distinctly remember the Chewbacca cookie. I'm not a big peanut butter fan, but the one that sticks out to me the most was the Jabba the Hutt. I remember the chocolate Jabba the Hutt cookie. What's also interesting too, Jim, about these is the way they've designated. They've got the rebels and they've got the Imperial forces. Now everything is light side, dark side. You know, now everything is Jedi, Sith. But back then, it was the rebels and the Imperial forces, as opposed to, you know, the light side, dark side. So I like that.
Yeah, we would lump the Jedi in with the rebels just naturally.
Yeah.
And the dark side were the Imperials. That's just how clear cut it was. And nobody thought twice about it.
I would just like to have the molds that these cookies were made from.
Oh, wouldn't that be interesting? I wonder if Steve Sansweet has those.
I'll go find out next week because I want to know who has those molds because I'd love for them just to cast. I'd love to have just like plastic casts of all the Pepperidge Farm cookies because, you know, those wouldn't deteriorate.
Right. Yeah. So that's Pepperidge Farm Star Wars cookies. The only place that you could dine on them is Rancho Obi-Wan, apparently. So I guess that's on their menu now. You know, you got to go there. You get the charcuterie, you get the Skywalker Ranch wines, and 40-year-old Pepperidge Farm cookies where the butter has turned to the dark side. And upon consuming it and feeling that sensation in your stomach, Steve Sansweet will just stand there and laugh at you.
Yeah.
That's our grand poobah.
Geeking out the night away at Rancho Obi-Wan.
To follow up on last week's conversation about Kellogg's C-3PO cereal, which was
one of my all-time
only out for a couple years, like 83, 84.
Yep.
From Kellogg's. Of course, Jason, you have fond memories of the C-3PO cereal.
I love the cereal. The thing that haunts me about it is that I can close my eyes, I can taste it. And cereal has always been sort of copycat, you know, derivative. And you could always buy generic versions of cereals that would taste the same coming out of the same factory. And these things would get recycled and just you'd slap a different brand on it. But they were maybe a dozen different varieties. But this was so unique, and I have never tasted anything like it before or since. So whatever this was, you know, whatever the formula was, they didn't recycle this into some other brand cereal as far as I can tell. It was truly unique.
Yeah, it was a really weird shaped cereal too.
Little figure eights.
Little figure eights. It looked like kind of like alphabets. but without the marshmallows.
Right.
It was sort of kind of like Cheerios, I guess. I don't know. I never tried C-3POs. So I'd grown away from the habit of eating breakfast cereal by 1984. But
these, if I remember right, these came out around the time of, this was a little bit later. I was still clinging onto Star Wars between 83 and 85, even though there was no new stuff. But when the Droids cartoon came out, I think that's when these C-3POs hit. So I think this was like late 84, early 85.
Well, I have some history about them. But first, we have to take a commercial break to hear from our sponsors at Kellogg's and C-3PO cereal. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Now, it's here. The excitement, the adventure of a new force at breakfast. We'll call them C-3POs. New C-3PO cereal from Kellogg's. Twin rings, phase together. For 2 crunches in every double O. A delicious part of this nutritious breakfast. Now you can experience the taste of Kellogg's C-3POs. A crunchy new force at breakfast. May the force be with you.
Well, that lucky kid sitting there eating that cereal.
Now, I'm kind of surprised that the cereal was released in 1984. They sort of missed the promotional push for Return of the Jedi by this point. But Star Wars was still around in the form of, probably home video release. I think so. Yeah. By then, the home video release was a thing for Star Wars. George Lucas famously held out, I think, until 1982. Before he actually started to produce Star Wars VHS cassettes. So I'm assuming that Return of the Jedi.
And cable. They were starting to play on cable. Like HBO.
Yeah, you're right about that.
The toys were still going pretty strong. Still in 84 and in 85. It was getting towards the end.
By 85, they started to clear it all out.
Yeah.
By 85, Star Wars was... The pulse was weak, and they really started to clear all that stuff out. But you had C-3PO cereal, which was available from 84 to 86.
Okay, 84. Wow, 86.
Yeah.
Man.
Yes.
All right.
Crunchy, honey-sweetened oat, wheat, and corn cereal from Kellogg's. And the cereal pieces were shaped like double O's or figure eights or whatever. I don't know how it ties into C-3PO. I guess you can sort of trace C-3PO with the shapes, these weird figure eight shapes.
Well, that was the thing that always threw me, was the fact that there was nothing about the cereal itself that looked Star Wars-y or C-3PO-y. So I just assumed that this thing would get recycled into another type of cereal, and you would just slap another brand or property onto it. But I've never seen it since.
No. And each of the boxes had character masks on the back.
Yes.
That it would be C-3PO. I've seen Luke. There's a Yoda, etc. So I wonder how many kids, Stormtrooper, I wonder how many kids actually cut this out. Darth Vader was on the back.
Did.
This is, what a fun collectible box, though.
I can vividly remember sitting at my breakfast table with the Luke Skywalker cut out. I had stapled a rubber band to the back of it and sitting there trying to eat my 3POs through the mask.
Through the
mask. It didn't work out very well. So I'd flip it up on my head. Those rubber bands that would be really tight. Pull your hair out, but it was worth it. I never found the Yoda mask. I always wanted the Yoda mask, could never find it. The only ones I remember seeing in the wild were Luke and 3PO himself. These other ones that I'm looking at, I do remember the Stormtrooper, but I never remember seeing the Vader. And there was also a Chewbacca, which I don't have a photo of, but I remember seeing the Stormtrooper, Luke, and 3PO. Never Yoda and never Vader.
In addition to the masks on the back, sometimes packages had trading cards in them, too, which I really never knew about until now.
And I didn't know about the trading cards either.
Yeah. But they were a lot of fun to collect. And like I said, they were on the shelves for about 3 years. But it's sort of a sad ending to the C-3PO cereal. The C-3POs was discontinued in 1986. And the reason being was its discontinuation was coinciding with the NASA Challenger disaster, which impacted space-themed advertising and programming.
Oh, boy.
So that's an odd thing to have to wrap your head around. But
So it blew up my C3POs,
I remember after
too.
9/11, people really frowned upon like disaster flicks and things like that.
Right.
So, I mean, you can see how that would come into play. I just wasn't aware of.
No, I never would have made that connection. Never.
Yeah, but that's what I just learned through my research. So, C3POs. Crunchy, honey-sweetened oat cereal that Jason loved. Now, something I noticed, a lot of people were talking about, they were continuing our discussion from last week on the official RFR Facebook group. And Jason, you got in there and started banging around with people throwing out memories of this cereal. And what I saw from multiple people, including yourself, was that it shredded the inside of your mouth. Is that just like
no,
eating it
what
so
it was,
vigorously? Or?
No, okay. So what happened was somebody was commenting about 3POs, and they said, you know what I also loved? I loved the Batman 89 cereal. So this was the cereal that came out for the the original Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson movie. And I said, oh, that I remember very distinctly because it shredded the top of my mouth like Cap'n Crunch does. So if you haven't had Cap'n Crunch, now I'm not talking about the peanut butter crunch. I'm talking about the classic Cap'n Crunch. That's like chewing glass.
It is.
It is.
That's so odd. I mean, I've never, because doesn't the milk sort of soften it up a little bit?
That was the beauty about Cap'n Crunch, Jim, because it kept the crunch.
I see the crunch. Yeah.
Because I was I still am to this day. I cannot eat soggy cereal. So any cereal that was advertised as being able to stay crispy and crunchy in milk, I'm all about that. And Cap'n Crunch was that way. And so was the Batman cereal. So now 3POs did get soggy. I remember I would have to eat it real fast because I didn't like the soggy cereal. But no, that did not rip up your mouth, but Batman did. And so does Cap'n Crunch.
I've never heard anybody saying breakfast cereal ripped up their mouth. But when I read the description of C3PO cereal, it says a crunchy, honey-sweetened oat, wheat, corn, and fiberglass breakfast cereal. So, I mean, there you go.
Wait, did you say fiberglass? You said fiberglass? I think you mean just fiber.
Fiberglass.
Fiber.
Not just fiber.
Fiberglass? What? They don't put that in food?
Well, apparently they put it in C3POs and Cap'n Crunch.
Fiberglass.
So you should always read the labels.
Jeez.
Always read the labels. All right, we got to take one more break to hear from our sponsor, Kellogg's and C3PO's cereal.
We're lost. My fault, but you... Oh! Neither! Food? Yes, crunchy food. C3POs.
New Kellogg C3POs. Twin rings phase together for a crunchy new force at breakfast.
Yeah, the force is with us.
A delicious part of this nutritious breakfast.
Okay. Well, of course.
Canon.
And you had the ghost of 3PO there. Did you see that appearing at the breakfast table with the kids?
That was strange.
That really was strange.
That was really strange. And I think he was standing by with the Listerine for all the shredded kids' mouths, you know. Yeah, could you imagine that fireball?
Wow. Gosh, that's so funny that you never heard of the Cap'n Crunch tearing up the roof of your mouth.
No.
Phenomenon.
Never did. So some listeners checked in with some memories of C3PO cereal. We have a few of them here that we'd like to play for you. They're sharing their memories. Let's see how similar their memories and nostalgia for this breakfast cereal are compared to your own, Jason. The first guy is, of course, RFR VIP, Eric from Phoenix.
Hey, Jason. Hey, Jimmy. This is Eric from Phoenix. Yes, I do remember C3POs. I remember begging my mom to buy them at the store because she typically didn't want to buy the sugary cereals, but she broke down and bought a box of 3POs. We got it home. I remember eating it, not thinking it was great cereal. Didn't particularly care for it, but I do remember cutting the mask off the back. And I want to say it was a C-3PO mask, but I don't remember. It could have been Luke Skywalker, and played with that for all of about 5 minutes. But I do have memories of it. One time my mom broke down and bought it, and I didn't think it was great.
New memory unlocked. By the way, I do have to disagree with Eric from Phoenix that he didn't think it was a great cereal. He's wrong.
Well,
it's the greatest cereal of the 80s. But I remember looking at the grocery store, pulling the boxes, looking on the back, trying to find a Han Solo mask, thinking, well, they must make a Han Solo. Folks, we didn't have the internet. There was no way to know and find out. You couldn't go online and see a story on whatever Star Wars fan site and see somebody has. We didn't have Turtle Wars that was going into the grocery stores and getting this stuff for us. We were on our own. We had no idea what existed in the wild.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, surely there has to be a Han Solo mask if there's a Luke Skywalker mask. No, they never made him. But Eric from Phoenix saying that he remembers either the 3PO or the Luke Skywalker version.
He started to say, and I thought he was going to say the roof of my mouth, but he said, I cut the mask out from the back. I'm waiting to hear these tales of like these bloody mouthfuls of breakfast cereal. And we might need to do an investigative report on just that phenomenon itself.
I think
the shredding of the mouth.
You're going to hear about it. People are going to say, oh, the Captain Crunch. Oh, the Batman cereal.
I'm serious. I'm going to research this. I'm buying Captain Crunch, and I'm going to eat it until I'm bleeding out. So here's Mile from Canada, who has some memories, thoughts, nostalgia for C-3PO cereal.
Chut boyos, it's Mile from Canada calling. Yes, I did have the C-3PO's cereal experience back in the day. They tasted like ice cream. The cold milk and the cereal itself was very much like an ice cream cone. It was delicious. Not my favorite, but it was good. Not cardboard like some people say. The few boxes that I bought had booklets from Return of the Jedi with pictures and stories. Long gone now. Anyway, thank you very much. You guys are great. Chut.
Ooh, the Canadian boxes had, did he say little storybooks?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
he
cool.
knows.
I don't remember storybooks. I just remember the masks. Mac, you were saying earlier that some had trading cards inserted into the boxes. I definitely remember the masks, but no other promos. And Mile is saying that, I'm assuming that in Canada, they had little storybooks. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was the exact same cereal.
Sure.
Nothing was different about it. And just by doing some different. The premiums might have been different. And I don't see any information about little booklets or anything. There was a set of 10 Star Wars sticker trading cards available. Some boxes had 2 cards, but I believe that was that was probably the same for the American version of it as well. But yeah, I don't see any information about other premiums. But hey, Mile, he was there.
That's right.
So we have Jason from Omaha checking in with memories of C-3PO cereal.
Oofta. I remember the C-3PO cereal was pretty weird. It had a strange texture to it. Didn't taste super great, but it had Star Wars on it. Thanks, Jason from Omaha.
Wow.
That's brevity for you, folks.
Drop the mic right there. That's the final word on C-3PO cereal. Jason from Omaha. Nothing else need be said.
Well, but there is more.
There's more.
There is more. Of course, old friend of the show, Shaz Bazaar, was listening to our back and forth last week, and that sent him down memory lane.
Hey, Jimmy and Jason, this is Shaz Bazaar. I was listening to the show last week, and y'all were talking about C-3POs, and Jimmy said he never ate any. But I ate it. I never cut out the mask on the back and put it on, but I ate C-3POs, and I know, I think I've talked to Jason about it before. He thought that it didn't taste like King Vitamin. I thought it did taste like King Vitamin, but my strongest recollection of C-3POs is on a live podcast that y'all did well over a decade ago when Sheldon up in Canada was eating a bowl of C-3POs live on the show. Maybe you could find that. I don't know if you got time to do it this week, but it'd be great if you could pull that up, Jimmy. Y'all have a great day. The best of all podcasts is Rebel Force Radio.
Oh, man. Thank you so much. I do remember that being one of the cereals that I was tasked with doing a comparison. Somebody had said, and it may have been Shaz years ago, that if I just found King Vitamin, that's what it tasted like. And I could never, the problem is I could never find King Vitamin cereal.
Right.
I looked.
That's a brand I'm not familiar with either. Yeah.
So if
King
anybody
Vitamin.
out there has access to, I'm not eating any old stuff, but if you have access to a box of King Vitamin, if this is something that still may be sold elsewhere and not just in my neck of the woods, hit me up. I'll gladly pay you for a box and do a taste test and see if it tastes like C-3POs. Because I know I would.
Well, look on Amazon. You might actually find it.
I'm looking right now, and I don't see it. You know what did come up, Jim? Captain Crunch, which you're going to be
Well, of
buying
course it
and you're
did.
going to be tasting.
Shred your mouth with Captain Crunch. Bloodberries. So Shaz Bazaar mentions King Vitamin cereal. That sounds to me like some fictitious cereal that the Brady Bunch would have eaten.
It does. It's right.
Hey, Alice, do we have any more boxes of King Vitamin?
It doesn't.
Shut up, Greg.
It doesn't sound real.
But Shaz Bazaar does bring up a moment from the history of Rebel Force Radio where the director of the Rebel Force Radio documentary, Sheldon Norton, the name of the documentary is The Galaxy is Listening, and you can find it on our YouTube channel, and it'll tell you all kind of things about us and our history, yada, yada, yada. Sheldon followed us around for like 10 years with his cameras and put together a really wonderful documentary. But he had joined us. This is like the first time I think we were ever exposed to the maniac, Sheldon Norton, who is from Canada. He's from Toronto, eh?
Sure.
And this is how we first met Sheldon. Was on the show. He dialed in and was eating old cereal, old C-3PO cereal that he had somehow obtained, and it was still intact. Steve Sansweet has told us many times that he had collected unopened boxes of breakfast cereal only to open them up to find a bag filled with like waxy, sugary sludge.
Yeah.
And, the chemicals in this stuff, it all just sort of breaks down and becomes this mess of grossness inside your Star Wars collectible 40 years later. But somehow Sheldon managed to get C-3POs intact, poured himself a bowl, ate them on the show, and passed out cold. And it was a crazy situation for us to see. So let's go in the Wayback Machine to June 2009, 16 years ago.
Wow.
For that moment when Sheldon called into the show and started eating old C-3PO cereal.
I don't believe what I'm seeing here on the live chat. This is unbelievable. I think we've got a guy eating a bowl. Is he eating a bowl of C-3POs?
No.
I swear to you, I think the guy is doing this. Is he eating it? Is this live? He's eating this live.
I got to see this. This is too hilarious.
This is 30-year-old cereal, folks.
For everyone who doesn't join us live for these shows.
Do you see the guy?
All right, I see a lot of smiling faces here on the webcams.
Right.
I'm smiling too, guys. I see you there with your bowl. He has two boxes. Knock that one over. He's got the bowl there. He's digging in. Who are you?
Sen 69.
A thumbs up to you too, brother. That's hilarious. He's saying something, but we can't hear him.
No, we can't hear him.
A, he's got a mouthful of 3POs. And two, he's got no microphone.
Let's see. I don't know if we can get him on here. Let's see. I don't know if we can hear him. Let me see if I can hear him.
Sheldon from Canada just joined us on the chat, I think.
Hey, C-3POs guy.
We have so much going on.
Yeah, this is insane. This guy is eating 30-year-old cereal. We're all cheering him on. We're all going to be. It's all going to be a class action lawsuit against the
funny till he doubles over. He's lying there. Oh wait, what? Thumbs up. He's okay. He's okay. Tastes good. Tastes good.
Right. I think he poured.
No, he's got a box of something there. What is that? It's a stormtrooper base or something.
It's a stormtrooper mask that's on the back of the box. Remember, you got the mask that you cut out.
Oh. No, I never had a box of 3POs. He has 2 boxes of them. Look at that. He's eating your box of 3POs.
I know.
Oh my God!
Even back then, you were dying for that C-3PO.
I was. What a blast from the past, 2009. And folks, the hoops that we had to jump through back then to do anything live online was insane. This idea of just throwing it up on YouTube and you're having your phone and you just go live in front of tens of thousands of people, millions of people. Was a fantasy. It was science fiction what we had to do. But I remember so vividly now the guy's eating, and we didn't even know Sheldon back then. It's just crazy to think about. And he's eating and he just thumbs up, and you're like, yeah, thumbs up to you, brother.
Hey, you know what's funny though? I mean, this is long before the age of Zoom calls and the simplicity of all of that. We were using a specific type of website software.
It's called TalkShoe.
Was that TalkShoe?
That was TalkShoe.
And so you would see people. This were the earliest days of webcams, and people would be up on this screen, this wall of all these people in these little individual frames. And we could see our audience as we were doing the show. It was really crazy. And Sheldon was on the screen eating these C-3POs. Now, here's the crazy part of the story. Is after the show was over, we did our sign-off, said goodbye, yada, 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 turned everything off. Everyone left that TalkShoe screen, except one guy stayed on the camera. And I don't know if it was, I think I noticed it, maybe you noticed it, but we were having a post-show discussion. 10 minutes went on or something. I said, hey, Jason, that guy is still on the screen, the guy who ate the cereal, and he's out cold. And Sheldon was there with his chin on his chest, slumped down in the chair with the C-3POs, 4 or 5 individual pieces of the cereal on his shirt. It was quite the visual image. And we were nervous about him, but we were trying to get his attention, but he couldn't hear us, and it was a whole thing. So then the following week, we were given access to a 911 call from one of Sheldon's loved ones calling the EMTs to get over there because he had eaten this cereal. So I mean, this is crazy to think that we even had access to this kind of call, but I mean, it's all made, it's all public record. Any 911 call is public record, and if you know where to go, you can get access to that 911 call. So here's the recording. Warning, this may be disturbing for some listeners.
This is Ancaster 911. Can I help you?
Yeah, there's a problem here with my brother. He's on the ground. I think he's OD'd. What substance has he taken? I'm not exactly sure, but it looks like cereal. A cereal? You mean a narcotic mix? No, I mean like 3POs. Like a golden robot cereal.
Sir, I'm not sure what you mean. Sorry, what kind of cereal?
It's a Star Wars cereal, like a 3POs.
A breakfast cereal? What condition is he in now?
He can hardly breathe.
Remain calm. If you can put him on his side, help is on the way. Can you explain to me why you would have taken the cereal?
Well, it's got an expiry date of May 84.
The cereal expired May 84?
Yeah.
Is there anyone else in the room with you?
There's just myself, the stuffed Wookiee, and Django.
Who's Django, sir?
It's his dog. Django, don't eat that. Don't even lick the bowl. Get back.
Oh, poor Django. We shouldn't laugh at that,
Yeah,
Jason.
I know,
That was a very
I know.
serious, tense moment.
All right. Well,
but it turned out, I think they pumped his stomach or something. Sheldon was fine.
Yes.
Sheldon was fine.
He's still
but
kicking. He's still kicking.
Yeah, but
he's still a listener, and his son Chase is doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just between you and me, Swank, I don't think mentally he's really been all up there, since that cereal incident. So
no,
yeah. And you know what's even worse is that he kept going back to the box. So it was like we had to have this intervention.
Yeah.
He had to be sent away for a while. It was a whole thing. That wasn't the only incident,
right?
I should say, with the cereal abuse.
It's the only one that we actually have recorded. But there were other times, and it's why Sheldon can never go to Rancho Obi-Wan, because if he sees a box of C-3PO cereal,
just like that, you could snap.
Right.
He could just simply snap. So that's what's going on there with cereal abuse and C-3POs and, the history of this show. But I had a lot of fun going down memory lane with you, Swank.
I did too.
C-3PO cereal.
Wow.
Amazing.
It's very cool. Well, being able to go back into the Wayback Machine and explore all of our podcast adventures over the years is a great thing. And one way that you can do that is through Rebel Force Radio on Patreon. By now there's hundreds of episodes of podcasts that you can't get anywhere else. It's an incredible community of Star Wars fans. We like to think it's the very best community of Star Wars fans, and there's always something new to explore. If the weekly RFR isn't enough for you, there's plenty more of Rebel Force Radio on Patreon.
Bonus podcasts, ad-free shows, full show video, early bird releases, and access to the greatest audience of Star Wars fans gathered on the internet or anywhere else. This week we have RFR Q&A number 261, Return of the Jedi Infinities. Now you might remember back in the early 2000s, Dark Horse Comics released a series of what-if type stories about the Star Wars original trilogy. It was retellings of each individual film throughout 4-issue arcs, all under the Infinities banner, which is like that what-if sort of situation. What if this happened instead of that? And then the repercussions of all of that. So we have already done Star Wars. We've already done Empire Strikes Back. And now RFR VIP Robbo from Chicago is back. And we review The Return of the Jedi, told like you've never heard it told before. And if that's not enough for you, Robbo from Chicago. Remember how we used to joke around about when Cassian Andor visits Gorman that first time on that mission for Luthen, and his hair's all slicked back.
Oh yeah, he's a fashion designer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's wearing those giant shades, those giant sunglasses. We said he looked like Bono from U2.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So Robbo from Chicago took that to heart and created a musical tribute to Cassian Andor and his Gorman sunglasses to the music of U2 and Bono. So, I mean, he went nuts. And, man, he can sing. That magical musical moment can only be heard by RFR Patreon supporters. So we want you to join the party, join the fun. You get access to all the stuff I was talking about before, and plus a lot of other cool perks too. So go to patreon.com/Rebel Force Radio and support your pals here at RFR to ensure the health and security. I'm starting to sound like Palpatine now. Just to support the health of this show and to keep us alive and going for years to come. So that's patreon.com/Rebel Force Radio.
This is Rebel Force Radio, your source for the Force, with Jason Swank and Jimmy Mack. The galaxy is listening.
I have good news for you, my lord.
That's good news. Come closer, I have good news.
Yeah, we got great news. We've got a cast announcement from, as I said earlier, the official social channels of Star Wars. pointing to a big article on StarWars.com. So there's no deadline, there's no variety as the middleman in this. This is right from the horse's mouth. We even got a photo here along with this big announcement. So we've got a list of about 9 different actors' names. Some we've talked about, a couple have been confirmed, but a lot of them very new to this conversation about Star Wars Starfighter. And Jim, let's start with the photo. I got to say, I don't want to start out negative, but I thought this was a rather underwhelming photo to be used as our first glimpse, our first taste of a new Star Wars film. Where's the lightsabers? Where's the starships? Where's the iconic Star Wars imagery? This, I know what they're going for. They're going for a very, heavy, grainy contrast. It's in black and white. You can see that the two individuals, this is Ryan Gosling and young Flynn Gray, sitting on some type of speeder. But, it's I don't know. To me, it doesn't throw me into the galaxy far, far away. It's a little too... I don't know, industrial or something like that. I wish they would have gone with something a little bit more classic Star Wars as our very first glimpse into this new film.
Well, it's just nondescript. It's a black and white photo flooded with shadows and very poor resolution on the photo itself. It's kind of like somebody shot it on their iPhone and just used the app to make it black and white and posted it. That's sincerely how I believe this photo was shot. Yet somebody does take photo credit for it on the StarWars.com website. So more power to you, my fellow iPhone photographer.
No, you know what? We probably can't even fathom the money that they probably spent on a photographer to do just this, to make it look like it was done, with just an iPhone. But what can we see here? We've got, this is definitely Ryan Gosling. Yes. With a little bit longer hair. It's not full-blown Jedi mullet, but a tousled longer hair.
That's a very good thing you're doing right now, is taking stock of his just general appearance, because this thing's going in front of cameras, I assume, this week.
Yeah.
And that would have to be pretty much his standard look for Star Wars Starfighter. So we're really
getting... I think he's in costume, too.
Character. I believe he is, too. That looks like very... I don't know. I don't know how to explain this fashion. It almost looks like he has a jacket kind of slung over his shoulder.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's like a leather jacket, not terribly unlike the leather jacket that Poe gave to Finn. Maybe something along those lines.
Yeah.
And you can't really make out too much. I think we can see some boots.
Maybe leather pants. Leather pants.
Oh, maybe leather pants. Yeah.
Rock and roll.
But just definitely a shaggier Ryan Gosling look.
Well, he looks good as always.
Yeah.
And sitting next to him then is young Flynn Gray, the young actor who will be featured in this film. I have some information on what his character may be doing. And now the thing is, though, what's kind of funny is that me and Jason were having some interactions on the old text this afternoon. And I said, what's up with this picture that Lucasfilm released for Star Wars Starfighter? That doesn't even look like Sean Levy. It looks like Sean Levy looks like he's 14 years old. What's going on here? I thought that was Sean. And it turns out it's...
I didn't have the heart to tell you. I knew you were going through the morning, and I'm like, okay, there'll be plenty of time to talk about this.
Oh, God.
But it was all happening so fast. I was in and out of meetings at the day job, and...
You love just to leave me standing there with it just swinging in the air.
I didn't deny it or confirm it. We were just kind of in the throes of the excitement. But yeah, it threw me because you're like, yeah, you can't even make out that it's Sean Levy. And I'm like, God, I thought that was Ryan Gosling. That's not Sean Levy, is it? Because I'm like, there's a kid. Then I recognized that was a kid. And then it was like, okay, but that is Ryan Gosling. And so Flynn, which by the way, that's a cool name.
Great name.
That's his real name, Flynn. Wouldn't mind seeing that as his Star Wars character name. But
great looking
like,
kid. Great looking kid too. I mean, really, just man, oh man, he got it going on? Yeah,
he does, and he's got some sort of jacket with some sort of like fleece lining around the collar. I don't know if there's any. That looks like maybe a zipper here. Something dangling.
Dear God, don't you dare talk about zippers in Star Wars.
It looks like he's wearing gloves too, by the way.
Gloves are okay.
Yeah.
Gloves are fine.
Okay. And then some sort of low-cut boot, like an ankle boot of some sort. But yeah, really not a whole lot that we can decipher from here. This seems to be some sort of speeder vehicle that they're sitting on. They're sitting on like the hood portion of it. And there are no wheels. So it's suspended in air.
So yeah, it's your typical Star Wars speeder.
And then not much to say about the background. You've got some sort of, industrial tubing and pipes and definitely now that does have kind of a Star Wars-y vibe, the texturing on the wall, but I don't know. I just for our first glimpse, I think they could have done better. But look, they obviously wanted to keep this mysterious. If they could have shown us more detail, they could have shown us the costumes and color. They chose not to. So this is like, well, let's give the fans just a little taste. We of course always want more.
I wonder how old this kid is. And I've Googled Flynn Gray birthday, Flynn Gray age. I can't find any information about this kid's age, which I find like very weird. Let's go to the good old trustworthy IMDb. I mean, nobody's really heard of Flynn Gray, but he's going to play an important character in the series, and I'm going to get into that in just a minute. He's had little cameo appearances in shows like Wednesday. He appeared in that Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey sequel, the slasher Winnie the Pooh thing. When Winnie the Pooh became public domain, they turned him into some sort of slasher flick kind of thing. And he's also known for roles in Borderline, Sherlock and Daughter, and Rose's War. It appears all of the actors that they're bringing on board for this production are British.
Yes.
They're British, except for our main stars like Ryan Gosling, Mia Goth. I don't know where she's from. We'll get into that in a minute and maybe discover altogether where she's from. But I can't find any information about this kid's age, even on IMDb. IMDb reveals that he demonstrates versatility and skill in bringing complex characters to life on the big screen. He has dynamic range and could provide a compelling performance. So he looks great. I mean, he's a great looking kid. I think he's a kid. I mean, I can't find his age anywhere. It seems like there's a cover up going on. Flynn Gray's probably 30 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I who knows what that could be. There could be privacy laws about child actors and performers, in the public eye. I don't know. Or he doesn't want people to know his age because, maybe he plays younger than he actually is, and he wants to be, he wants to be considered for those roles. I don't know, but let's go through the cast. Ryan Gosling, no secret here. La La Land, Drive, The Fall Guy. He's a bona fide movie star. What was
Barbie.
Oh, Barbie. Yes, of course. Yes,
and of course, I loved him in the sequel to Blade Runner 2049. He was outstanding in that film. Just outstanding. I really liked him a lot.
Yeah, ton of charisma. Obviously a great looking actor and going to be playing I'm going to just go on a limb and say that he's most likely going to be a somewhat grizzled, reluctant role model, probably a lesser version of what's his name? Jude Law's character in the I see him being kind of like that, a hardened, tough loner that suddenly gets saddled with watching this kid or looking at after this kid, his nephew.
Okay. According to the rumors I've been able to compile, Ryan Gosling's character is going to serve as a sort of protector for young Flynn Gray's character. And Flynn Gray will play the role of Ryan Gosling's nephew.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, will he be force sensitive, Ryan Gosling? And there are some suggestions in the latest rumors that say that's a strong possibility. He could very well be a lone Jedi, kind of like, post-Order 66, roaming the galaxy 30 years after the destruction of the Empire, and just, trying to find his way. I mean, he'd obviously have been a youngling at best by the time of the end of the Clone Wars.
Well, this is the furthest out that Star Wars has put itself in terms of live action, any kind of visual storytelling. I don't think. Yeah, well, there's been comic book series like we've talked about that went out much further than this, but this is 5 years after the Rise of Skywalker, so going to put it in a similar time frame, perhaps as the Simon Kinberg trilogy, both taking place post sequel trilogy.
You're right.
Sequel trilogy.
So the idea, the concept that this guy is a survivor of Order 66 is absolutely absurd. Here's what I would like to present as speculation for this character, if he is indeed of a Jedi background, that he could be like the lone survivor of Kylo Ren's purge on Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple. That's the only thing I got. Is fun because there are no other Jedi in the galaxy. Luke put an end to that when Kylo destroyed his temple and put an end to his training of any future Jedi.
See, this is why I'm not banking on Gosling's character being force sensitive. For that reason, the reason you just say, and the other one is that they really are doubling and tripling down on the fact that this is a standalone story. Now, if it makes a ton of money and everybody falls in love with these characters, we know that there's, sequel potential. But they're going to be so occupied immediately following this by going into the Kinberg trilogy and building a whole future of Star Wars. I don't know what good it would do to introduce a character that brings with it force powers and all the things that are that come with it. Unless the idea is they're going to introduce this character in this film, and if people love him, he could come back in this sequel trilogy, 10, 12, 11, 12.
Or it could be a situation of pass on what you have learned. And maybe a young actor like Flynn Gray is going to figure into Star Wars films for the next decade plus. He could be the new to what Tom Holland was to Marvel, this kid could be to Star Wars. And what rumors are suggesting is that the film is going to focus very heavily on a mentor-mentee relationship. So Ryan Gosling could be the lone survivor of Kylo Ren's purge on Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple. He could be the lone survivor and then passing on what he has learned to his nephew, played by Flynn Gray. Ryan Gosling might not survive Star Wars Starfighter, but passing on what you've learned to a young actor like Flynn Gray, who could be someone that you can program into Star Wars, like I said, for the next 10, 15 years.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. All eyes are on the leading man, but there could be a little sleeper in here with Flynn Gray's character. Maybe that's the actual character that's being set up here. There has to be a reason. Well, it's Lucasfilm, folks. You can't say there has to be a reason, but you would hope that there is a reason why this story, when it's coming out, when it's being made, and that it should somehow tie in to what comes afterwards. But again, I'll keep saying, they're saying this is standalone. So it doesn't mean that by being standalone that it's not just tied to the past, but it might not have a tie to the future. It could be its own thing, even if it does get sequels. I don't know how much further they could go out. I mean, it's been 10 years since The Force Awakens. And if you give it another couple of years to make, you're talking about 12. Just thinking, how far can they push Kinberg's episode 10 post The Rise of Skywalker?
Well, the rumors suggest that it will be set 5 years after episode 9. So 5 years, and in a yet unexplored segment of the galaxy.
Are you talking about Starfighter, or are you talking about Kinberg's episode 10?
I'm talking about Starfighter.
Yeah, I was talking about, I'm trying to figure out how far out can they push episode 10.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Well, I mean, if this is going to kind of launch maybe a single character or a few characters into the future of Star Wars storytelling, and like I said, a guy like Flynn Gray, who seems to be critically acclaimed and getting accolades as far as his strength as a young actor, a young performer. As far as I could tell, his credits go back to 2022. So he's really been on the professional scene for a matter of 3 years. He must have made a huge impact in the things he's been in and the screen tests he's done to get Lucasfilm's attention and to put him alongside Ryan Gosling in a multi-million-dollar film. I think they're banking on his potential and his future as an actor, locking him in super young. I think just by eyeballing this kid, he looks like he's 14, maybe 15. Just by looking at him,
I'm going.
I don't think he's
12. I think he's.
Yeah. All right. So you're going like more towards like a Daniel Logan age in Attack of the Clones?
I mean, here he is. This says to me somewhere between 10 and 12.
Even at that age, this kid's a lady killer. Look at that kid. Jeez, he's got the whole world in the palm of his hand right now. But I like Flynn Gray. I don't know anything about him, and I think his performance will make or break this entire film. I've already heard from members of the Jedi Council telling us that they're a little, I don't know about this kid, but he really
there's
does.
always concern when you anchor a film with a child actor. There's always room for suspicion. You hope they can pull it off.
Maybe this kid's like 13 years old or something. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. It takes a couple years before this film even gets released. Can have him hanging out with the Skeleton Crew gang, and just like Star Wars goes to high school. Let's go, man. Let's go. Like Fast Times at Star Wars High. Fast Times at Coruscant High. Fast Times at Tatooine High.
Well, let's talk about Amy Adams. This was not a name. This was on my Starfighter bingo card at all. Certainly not on my Star Wars bingo card. But nevertheless, 6-time nominated actress for an Academy Award. I got to tell you, I pieced out. I wasn't into the DCU films, so I missed her turn as Lois Lane. There's already a new Lois Lane once I started paying attention again. So I really don't have much to say about her in a big franchise like DC Superman. Jim, you spent some time with those movies. So what was your take on her, in a big action franchise like DC and the world of Metropolis?
I felt like she was a deer in headlights throughout the entire DC experience. Every time she was on film, I never thought she was a good mix for Lois Lane. Now, that doesn't mean she's a bad mix for Star Wars. And we've been hearing some things about this nephew, probably played by Flynn Gray, who will become an orphan at the beginning of the film. In the proud Disney tradition, the mom will die at the beginning of the film. All right, Finding Nemo, anyone?
Bambi?
So, Bambi. I'm starting to Swank. Why did you have to say Bambi, man? Why'd you have to say Bambi, man? All right. Pull it together. I'll do this. That makes everything work. Okay. But Amy Adams, I think that will be the role her character will be playing. She'll be the caretaker and or mother of the young nephew of Ryan Gosling's Star Wars Starfighter character. And with her death at the beginning of the film, she will then that moment in time will launch every event that we see happen in this film.
Now, some people are already saying, Jimmy Mack, you can't be serious. They wouldn't cast an actress the pedigree of an Amy Adams, the star power of Amy Adams, only to kill her off in the first 10 minutes of the movie, would they?
Well, sure they would. I mean, if they work out a nice deal with her, and
she's also tight with Sean Levy. This could be a favor.
Okay, there you go. This may be a favor. Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that, and she obviously has the star power and gravitas to bring some real credibility to this cast. So I can't wait to see what she will actually bring to the role that she plays. But again, I believe it's going to be a very minor role.
It sure is shaping up to be one of the best looking casts we've had in a Star Wars project in a long time. Everybody's at 10 so far. All right. So Amy Adams, certainly a beautiful actress. And I have a buddy, my buddy John, who, for him, Amy Adams' existence makes life justifiable, and he couldn't be happier. He only wishes that she would be coming in as Mrs. Dr. Evazan, his favorite Star Wars character. So,
all right, well, we got to get him some professional help ASAP.
Okay, so Matt Smith, we'll be hearing from him in just a moment, but now he is a name that has been oft rumored, and like I say, we have a clip of him being asked point blank by, Inside Edition or something like that.
Extra. We should just go ahead and watch it, because
you want to do that?
What's funny about this clip, this is such a funny clip, because Matt Smith, it's been revealed now this week that he is officially part of the cast of Star Wars Starfighter. Of course, he was previously part of the cast of The Rise of Skywalker, but then as the script evolved, his character was deemed obsolete and he never appeared. We're thinking maybe he was a young Palpatine or a Palpatine clone or something along those lines. But or like the son of Mortis also gets brought up. Remember?
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, we didn't really bring that up when we were talking about Matt a few weeks ago, but that was a heavy rumor because we believe Mortis, as a matter of fact, we know Mortis, the realm of Mortis, was going to be part of the Colin Trevorrow episode 9, which was going to be named Duel of the Fates. But Matt Smith was part of the J.J. Abrams production until he wasn't, and he did not appear in The Rise of Skywalker. So he's out and about promoting this new film he has called Caught Stealing with Regina King, and he and Regina are sitting, partaking in your typical movie media junket, and they're talking to Extra TV, and Matt Smith gets directly asked about Star Wars Starfighter. The rumors have been floating around for the last few months, but this was all, of course, before this week's announcement that Matt Smith is officially in the film. And Matt, of course, knows this bit of information, which makes it even funnier to watch this interview now, because he plays totally coy and tap dances around this interview question with, I don't know, a modicum of success.
I got to ask you one more question. Star Wars coming up. There's a lot of rumors that you might be a villain. Is this happening? Is that not happening?
Is what happening? Star Wars?
You being a villain in the upcoming
I don't even know if
Star
I'm in it. Am I in it? Really?
Okay.
Are you sure?
I was doing the PR media training here. You succeeded.
No. I mean, because someone told me I was in Star Wars before and I never was. It's one of those. It's a funny one.
That's the internet.
You're
denying it.
You what?
You're denying it.
I'm not denying it. I'm just saying. I'm asking you if I'm in it. I was told I was in it before the previous time, and I'm like, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
And it didn't happen.
And then it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So you're getting his hopes up.
I think this could be another red herring, man. You know what I mean?
Well, if you are in it, you can thank me because I just put it in the universe.
All right.
Well, Matt, once bitten, twice shy, Smith. I think, I think the odds are in his favor now that we've had this big announcement over at StarWars.com that he is indeed going to be in it. And, I don't mean to pass judgment on his look, but he does look like a villain. I'm just going to say, I think Matt Smith is going to be able to play a really good Star Wars villain. He almost has that sort of Peter Cushing, aristocratic, cold British vibe. So, and of course, Doctor Who fans love him as the 11th Doctor. He was in The Crown playing Prince Philip, and then also in House of the Dragon as Daemon Targaryen.
There you go, man.
Certainly no stranger to franchise entertainment, big, meaty roles, Matt Smith. But yeah, I think to me, when I see him, I don't think swashbuckling Star Wars hero. I think villain.
Well, he's got some serious nerd cred, no question about it. And villain, that is what's been floating around in the rumor sphere, is that he will be playing a villain, but he won't be the only villain in the film. So there will be other antagonists. Is there going to be a main villain? Is there going to be a pair of villains, like a duo of villains?
Maybe he could be teaming up with Mia Goth.
Yes.
Now it's nice to see she's confirmed. That's another one that we covered here on RFR. One of those rumors that seem to have a lot of credibility, though not officially announced by Lucasfilm. I think the trades were throwing her name out there, but Mia Goth. Now, this is an actress, Jim, as I said, when her name came up before, I'm not familiar with at all. Most known for Ty West's X series. I'm not really into the whole X franchise.
No, I mean, I don't understand it.
It includes X, Pearl, Maxine with 3 X's, by the way.
Well, yeah, our buddy RFR VIP Turtle Wars had some information to lay on us about some of her kind of like soft core porn, or maybe even more core porn. I don't know.
Oh, I see.
I mean, he said something about it. We'll have to ask him. But apparently she's been in. So he called it I think he referred to it as gore porn.
Oh, Gorn. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jason's very familiar. I finally found a year for Flynn Gray, the year he was born. He was born in Ireland in 2011.
Oh,
so
okay.
14 years old as this film goes in front of
Jim. You were closer than I was. He had a young look to me. I was thinking 10 to 12. But
the cheeks aren't pudgy enough for 10 to 12. You could tell he's starting to morph into a teenager.
Yeah, and when those eyebrows start to thicken up like that, that's when you know the testosterone just starting to flow in through those veins. So,
geez, look at the kid's hair is like, who doesn't want that hair that kid has? God bless him.
God, it would be great, wouldn't it?
Go Flynn. Go.
Love the hairline. So Mia Goth, we one of the rumors was that she might be the name just flew out of my head, but the Twi'lek,
of
the
Darth Talon.
We
thought of Darth Talon, and that would be such a ballsy move. We of course know George Lucas was playing around with the idea of Darth Talon being in one of the films of his sequel trilogy when he was developing stuff with Michael Arndt et al. And he was kind of targeting Darth Talon because George is a very visual person, and he's also somebody who is very influenced by comic book art. And how can you deny any sort of comic book art featuring the brilliant Darth Talon? I mean, we need more of that. And Darth Talon was just as incredible. I mean, she was essentially the female version of Darth Maul.
Yeah, in Twi'lek form.
So, I mean, just in that explanation alone, it's like sold.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to get
Darth
everyone's
Maul. All right.
Sexy Darth Maul. I don't want to get everyone's hopes up for something like that.
Yeah.
The sexiness, especially, I don't see Lucasfilm doing, but it could be a sort of amalgam character,
right?
Bringing in elements of Darth Talon and maybe bringing in some other unique and original elements as well.
So the rumors are that Mia Goth, whether she's Darth Talon or not, will portray a villain that is tracking and hunting down the character we're talking about that might be played by Flynn Gray, the nephew of Ryan Gosling's character. So
yeah,
she could be a bounty hunter. She could be a Sith. Who knows?
Right.
But she'll be and maybe she's just following orders from Matt Smith's character. That's probably where the smart money goes.
Master and apprentice.
Ooh.
Very well could be. I mean, we could maybe be seeing like a legitimate reincarnation of the Sith, without the pretenders like Kylo Ren or crusty old clone Palpatine who can't leave the planet of Exegol and maybe even beyond the Empire.
You know one thing, those Sith, they do like to have those insurance policies. And Palpatine was not shy about leaving a whole wake of Sith wannabes. And the likelihood that there were more is pretty high. So we could be seeing some of those some of the fruits that has sprung from the seeds that Palpatine planted in those years. Plus, we have all that missing time as he was hanging out on Exegol. Who knows what he was up to? He could have been training Sith apprentices while he was, being patched up there. You never know.
Beyond all that, the inclusion of Matt Smith in the cast. George Lucas famously never threw away ideas and found ways to incorporate decades-old concepts he had in the Star Wars prequels. Now, what if this is history sort of repeating itself as far as Lucasfilm goes? Matt Smith, originally cast in The Rise of Skywalker, his character was deemed unnecessary at the end of the day. So he was cut out of the entire script. Well, what if they found a good way to reincorporate that character into a fresh story? So who was Matt Smith rumored to be? A young clone Palpatine like we see in Dark Empire, or he could be the son of Mortis. Now, maybe they're resurrecting these ideas that ended up cast aside for episode 9, and they're creating something kick-ass and new with it via Star Wars Starfighter.
What if Amy Adams is the daughter of Mortis?
Ooh.
Or Mia Goth could be the daughter of Mortis.
So, if Ryan Gosling does have Force sensitivity and he actually is a Jedi, maybe he was in the lost realm of Mortis for all of the time where, maybe he went in there during the Clone Wars somehow. He got sucked in there somehow, and he's been there all this time throughout the entire Dark Times, the entire original trilogy, the entire post-original trilogy, the entire sequel trilogy, and then he reemerges from the Mortis realm upon the death of the sister who he had mated with on Mortis. And the rumor is that Flynn Gray is to be the nephew.
Or so he thinks.
Yeah, or so he thinks. Right, yeah. This is Star Wars.
I don't know. I was wondering. Where my head was is that maybe if Matt Smith ends up being, say, the son, and Mia Goth ends up being the daughter, that Flynn would be their target. Maybe he's the one that they're interested in. That's and right. Ryan Gosling, he's just the hapless uncle. He's the Han Solo type character. He doesn't go in for ancient nonsense and hokey religions and all of that. So he's the one that's thrust into having to protect this kid that has these powers that he doesn't understand. That feels like Star Wars to me.
Sure does. It sure does, my friend. So who else is rounding out this
All right,
cast?
so we got Aaron Pierre here. This is a British actor, another British actor with roles in the Underground Railroad, Rebel Ridge, and was the voice of Mufasa in Mufasa the Lion King, and also going to be will be portraying Jon Stewart's Green Lantern in the new HBO series of the same name, Green Lantern. So apparently this guy's got some pipes on him, Jim. If he was cast as Mufasa, the role originated by James Earl Jones, so this guy he's got the pipes. So he is allegedly praised for his voice, his presence, and his range. So, a force to be reckoned with here.
I've heard nothing but raves about this actor, and he could be one of like a sleeper in this entire casting announcement. This guy might really emerge as a very memorable Star Wars character, just based on his past credentials, the power of his voice, and of course, just the confidence that we've heard people have in his acting.
There's a lot of excitement behind him, that's for sure.
Yeah, he seems great.
All right, and finally, we've talked a lot about Flynn Gray. Jim, you mentioned he's in this wacky sequel to the Winnie the Pooh slasher series, Blood and Honey 2. But essentially a blank slate. And aside from, you know what? This is all in my perspective. Aside from Ryan Gosling, Amy Adams, and Matt Smith, Mia Goth is fairly unknown to me. Aaron Pierre is a completely unknown to me. Flynn Gray, of course, is. And some of that's in the tradition of Star Wars. Though I will say that this film, I believe, represents a pretty significant paradigm shift where you go with a big star as your anchor, as your headline actor. We've not seen that in a Star Wars film up to this point. Yes, there have been actors with a lot of credits and gravitas and in supporting roles, but coming out as an anchor, as a leading man, as a leading lady, they've been relative unknowns up to this point.
Star Wars traditionally. I mean, in the first trilogy, the only known actor was Alec Guinness, and he was definitely kind of on like the downward part of his career, you know.
And Peter Cushing as well.
Well, Peter Cushing, another guy, but really, Peter Cushing wasn't, really a marquee name ever.
Not at all. Not at all. Just someone that people would go, oh, I recognize him.
Yeah, and if you were familiar with those old Hammer horror films, he played Victor von Frankenstein and all that stuff. Yeah. I just saw one of his films on Svengoolie a couple of weeks ago.
He's making the Svengoolie rounds.
Oh, it totally engrossed me. Because I'm so familiar with the Universal horror films from that period, or from before that period even. But the Hammer horror films were different takes on those classic characters. They had to do a little fudging to avoid lawsuits from Universal. So naturally, the Christopher Lee Frankenstein monster in The Curse of Frankenstein does not look like the Universal monster with the flat head and the bolts out of the neck and the stitches. And but it is still a lot of fun to watch Peter Cushing act. And then when you, like I said, add in Christopher Lee, then you're just having a Star Wars, just a good time with classic horror films.
Now, when you get to the prequel trilogy, you had Liam Neeson,
who was very well known. I mean,
absolutely.
Schindler's List,
of course,
he was Schindler. So, Ewan McGregor was up and coming at that time. Natalie Portman was largely unknown at that time. Jake Lloyd, largely unknown at that time. But then they brought in Christopher Lee, who everyone knew from, as Dracula from the Hammer horror films.
And Lord of the Rings. That was the thing that made the Lee casting so, whoa, wait a minute. Didn't we just see him in Lord of the Rings?
Well, it was all like very simultaneous. You know? It was like he was in Lord of the Rings, and next year he was Count Dooku. So it was like, what a career revival he was having at such a late stage in his career and life in general. I always thought it was funny, though, that upon learning the name of his character from Star Wars, Christopher Lee, very well known as Count Dracula, is now Count Dooku. And he's like, really, George? Really?
But you know what? That's the film fan in George. You know, that's the film geek in George coming out. Like, you're Count Dracula, you know.
Well, you got to be a count. I mean, come on, that's what you do, right? You're a count. Count Dooku, that's who you are.
But, all right, so Flynn Gray. Here's a few kind of also named here. We got a guy, Simon Bird, who's known for The In-Betweeners, something unknown to me, but he kind of has sort of he kind of has that nerdy, everyday guy sort of look. He certainly doesn't look like an action hero. Right. But here he is in a Star Wars.
He'll fit a role somewhere somehow. Another British. Everyone here is from the UK, whether it be London or Ireland. The only actor from outside of Europe is Ryan Gosling.
And Amy Adams.
Oh, of course. Amy Adams, of course. Yeah. Yes, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah. We also got a guy here. This is Jamal Westman. As a Broadway guy, I recognize that name. He was... I think he originated the role of Alexander Hamilton in the West End production of the show. So he's coming out of the West End as a stage actor and got all kinds of accolades as his playing that role. So he stepped into those big boots of Lin-Manuel Miranda in that production. And then finally we've got Daniel Ings. And I chose this photo because he's bearded. Daniel is shown in a lot of different things. Apparently he's known in British TV and film, and he's with beard sometimes and without beard other times. And I thought, well, it's Star Wars. Let's show him with a beard. So anyway, so this is
brilliant,
Daniel.
Brilliant.
Daniel
I can't argue with this.
But not a lot of information. Jim, do you have anything on these three guys?
No, nothing whatsoever. You took my Hamilton trivia. I thought I'd blow you away with that. But, of course, the second Hamilton connection to Star Wars next to Lin-Manuel Miranda himself, who composed the music for the band playing in Maz Kanata's castle.
God, that's right. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. So this is the second Hamilton connection. Let me know if I missed any. Show at rebelforceradio.com.
And then it also goes on to mention the producer names. Of course, we know about Sean Levy and Kathleen Kennedy. Ryan Gosling getting a producer credit on that. Dan Levine, and then Mary and Josh McLaughlin. And I don't know much or really anything about them, if they've produced other big films or if they have any connection to other Ryan Gosling projects, perhaps. But of course, we all know Kathleen Kennedy and Sean Levy and Ryan. But Levine and the McLaughlins, both Mary and Josh, not really sure what they bring to the table. Other than
my guess is they're probably part of the Sean Levy circle.
Right.
You know, they don't sound like anybody familiar to me from the Kathleen Kennedy circle or the Lucasfilm circle. So, or Disney in general. So right. I bet these are people that Sean's bringing on board as part of his production staff, and we'll have plenty of time to vet out all of these people. Star Wars Starfighter doesn't hit screens until May 2027. So this is great, man. I mean, it's awesome. Great to have this news. It's very exciting when a new Star Wars film goes in front of cameras. We're presuming this is the week that it all starts happening, where production, live action shooting is all kicking off. So thus they're making this casting announcement this week, and we should expect to hear various rumors coming from the shooting site.
Oh, yeah. And this is it. This is the film that's going to be ringing in the 50th anniversary of Star Wars.
Wow.
So a lot riding on this one. This one really needs to deliver. And it comes to the theaters weeks after a huge re-release of the original Star Wars film, Episode 4 is A New Hope. So the contrast and the comparisons are going to be aplenty because it's going to be so fresh in our mind.
Wow, I'm so excited for that.
Big shoes to fill.
I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited for Star Wars Starfighter. I'm excited for next year's Mandalorian and Grogu film. Some of the early word we've been hearing just on the down low is that it feels very much like a George Lucas Star Wars story because Jon Favreau simply gets it. And when put in charge of an entire major motion production, Favreau really stepped to the plate for this one.
Yeah.
And he really applied a lot of great care and awesome vibes to the entire production. So that's what people in Lucasfilm are saying. I'm not giving any names. But there seems to be a general sense of excitement, and I'm really looking forward to that because I have faith in Favreau, and I hope to have as much faith in Sean Levy, and I'm really excited to see what this film has to offer. A legitimate director with legitimate success in his background coming to Star Wars and willing to elevate it with an original and standalone idea. I think this is something that could be very exciting and maybe more exciting than some Star Wars fans are actually giving it credit to right now as it's about ready to go in front of the cameras.
Chewie, get us out of here!
Well, that's going to do it for us this week here on Rebel Force Radio. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you need more Rebel Force Radio in your life, go check us out over on Patreon. Patreon.com/Rebel Force Radio includes weekly full show video options, exclusive podcasts like RFR Q&A, RPG, the Babu Freaks. You can't get those on any other platform other than Rebel Force Radio on Patreon. So check it out. Go to patreon.com/Rebel Force Radio. Also, please do watch us over on YouTube. Got a whole repository of classic highlights and clips over there on YouTube. YouTube.com/Rebel Force Radio. You can follow us on our socials, Instagram, Facebook. We're on X. And we have a website, rebelforceradio.com. But the best way to help us out, please continue listening to this show and recommending it to your friends, your family, the Star Wars fans in your life that maybe they're not watching or listening to Star Wars podcasts. Maybe they're watching or listening to that Kelsey show, that Kylie Kelsey show. No, tell them, look, there might be the occasional Ed Sheeran Star Wars reference, but you want to listen to a Star Wars podcast. You want to listen to Rebel Force Radio. So please keep those recommendations going. If your podcatcher of choice allows you to leave a review, we'd love to have that as well. Just one simple rule, please.
Make them good.
All right, that's going to do it for us. We will see you next week for more Rebel Force Radio. But until then, for RFR, I'm Jason.
And I'm Jimmy Mack.
And remember,
the Force will be with you, always.
I think the butter in it has turned to the dark side.